എല്ലാ ഹാർവസ്റ്റ് ടി വി പ്രേക്ഷകർക്കും ചാനൽ സ്വയം അവതരിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ദ ട്രൂത്ത് എന്ന പ്രോഗ്രാമിൻ്റെ ഈ പുതിയ എപ്പിസോഡിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. ദി ട്രൂത്ത് അഥവാ സത്യം. ഈ എപ്പിസോഡിൽ ഞങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾക്കായി പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തുന്നു ഇവാഞ്ചലിസ്റ്റ് ബില്ലി ജേക്കബ്. 32 വർഷമായി തന്നെ തൻ്റെ പ്രാണപ്രിയൻ ബരമേൽപ്പിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന കർത്തൃവേല വെസ്റ്റ് ബംഗാളിലെ സിലുവരി കേന്ദ്രീകരിച്ച് നടത്തിവരുന്നു. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ത്രിപുര, മേഘാലയ, നേപ്പാൾ, മിസോറാം, അരുണാചൽ പ്രദേശ്, അസം എന്നീ നോർത്ത് ഈസ്റ്റേൺ പ്രദേശങ്ങളിലും തൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനം സ്തുത്യർഹമായി നടത്തിവരുന്നു. നമ്മൾക്ക് ഈ പ്രിയദാസനിൽ നിന്ന് തൻ്റെ അവിടുത്തെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് വിശദമായിട്ട് അറിയാം. ഞങ്ങൾ ചാനൽ സോൻ നിങ്ങൾക്കായി അവതരിപ്പിക്കുന്നു ദി ട്രൂത്ത് അഥവാ സത്യം.
ഈ ആഴ്ചയിലെ വചനം
സദൃശവാക്യങ്ങൾ 17:17. സ്നേഹിതൻ എല്ലാ കാലത്തും സ്നേഹിക്കുന്നു, അനർത്ഥകാലത്ത് അവൻ സഹോദരനായി തീരുന്നു.
വേർഡ്സ് ഓഫ് ദ വീക്ക്.
Proverbs 17 verse 17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
Thank you all for tuning in to the episode of The Truth. This is your Kevin Paul with you. This day we have an uncle all the way from the northeast of West Bengal. It's called Silguri. He's been there for last 32 years ministering the word of God. Uncle, it's always a privilege for us to have you here.
Yes, thank you, and I count it as a privilege to share how the Lord has been leading us in serving Him in Siliguri.
Yeah, that's something great to know. When we look into your life for the last 32 years, you have been known as a gospel worker. What actually motivated you to take it as a full-time job? We have this secular job around, you left everything for God. What was the motivation behind it?
Well, it started with my parents. The Lord has chosen me before the foundation of this world, and my mother must have placed me in the cradle with a word of prayer that when I was born, Lord, make this child a missionary. And my father named me after Billy Graham. Though I have not chosen that path for some time, and later the Lord has led me to go to northeast, that is to Siliguri.
Yeah. As you are motivated to do gospel work, you chose Silguri. When we look into this scenario in India, we always can see the cultural differences in South and the North. Mm-hmm. And why did you break your comfort zone and move into the northern side or northeastern side of India?
Though I was born in Kerala, after some time I have gone up to Bilai, Madhya Pradesh, where my father was serving the Lord. And then I was doing my higher studies there. And then when I was doing my BTH studies, that is biblical theological studies, at that time I happened to go to Manipur, where I was working as a teacher. On weekends we used to go to different churches to preach the gospel and all. There the churches are very big, consist about 600 to 800 people and all. Meetings were going on very well. And one of the churches decided to conduct an open air in the nearby Meithe village. So the time was set, and we all were there. But to my surprise, I was there, my friend who was translating, he was there, and the pastor also was there. But none of the church members attended that program. So I asked my friend, what happened? A church consists of about 600 people, and from that church only 3 have come for preaching. Then they said, these people, these Meitei people, then they were not friendly to the gospel. They have driven out all the preachers from that place and all. In fact, some of them were stoned. So the entire church is scared. So I also began to fear. Then what happened is that then we sang one song. To our surprise, we have seen the entire village coming running, and they were listening the gospel. But I didn't have the guts to give an outer call. But one lady stepped in, and she could speak good English, and she asked me, "Young man, why did you come so late?" I said, "What late? I have come here to make some money and for my further schooling and things like that." So then this lady began to narrate what happened to her mother. It seems her mother had a lot of problems with that. She was sleeping. At that time, the Lord seemed to have talked to her over a dream. And in that dream, the Lord said to you, "If you cast all your burdens on me, I'll care for you." So the next day on, this lady was looking at asking the Christians how to become a believer, how to become a follower of Christ. But this lady said, none of your Christians clearly explained her the way of the gospel. And just a month ago, she passed away. Why did you come so late? I went back to my room. That night I could not sleep. I could not sleep till I answered that question. Why did you come so late? The Spirit of the Lord began to speak to me. Those days I was thinking of joining in a Bible college as a lecturer, so that it's a white collar job, and apart from that you have intellectual satisfaction teaching to the people who know Greek and Hebrew and all. So I preferred that, but the Spirit of the Lord would not let me go. He began to speak to me. Are you seeking great things for yourself? Seek them not. Then it was about 12 o'clock at night. I knelt beside my bed. I said, "Lord, my heart is heavy because I don't want to be an evangelist, but your love will never let me go." Then that was my call.
That's the call.
That's how I developed a love for the Northeast. And immediately after my graduation, I have gone to Siliguri.
Uncle, just now that you have said, you got an inspiration from that lady who came to you, that why you were late. That have brought you to the community in the Northeast. So, like long back, like 31 years back, when we look into how did they accept you, how the local community were responding to your messages.
Well, when I first went to Siliguri, I didn't know anybody there. After getting off my train, I didn't know where to keep my briefcase. I was that ignorant. I didn't know a word of Bengali, much less Nepali. So that way I have gone there. But prior to that, while we were doing our BD studies, a couple of friends of mine and me, we three were praying for about a year. And this was the one thing in our mind: Lord, I'm going there, and I don't know what is laying ahead of me, but I want you to help me to get a house and then to raise up an assembly testimony. So what happened is that after moving from there, that day itself I could move to a small house and we started the ministry. Then Siliguri was quite small place. Way back in 1986, though Siliguri is connected by air, rail, and also by road. The problem was that, and Siliguri also is a commercial capital for the Northeast, but still it was not that developed. But now a lot of development has come, and it's a wonderful place. And as far as people coming to the Lord and all, we started working among the Bengalis, and not many responded. So then we have been forced to choose other communities, and the first person who has come to the Lord has come to the Lord in an interesting way. What happened is that I had to go to one house to get a ration card and all. So when I first went there, that person wasn't there, but his sister was there. She had a baby having fever,
Okay.
maybe 1 or 2, 1 or 3 and all. So having seen that situation, I asked them, can I pray for you? Can I pray for your child? They gladly agreed. And I took the child and prayed in English because I couldn't speak to the, I was speaking the local dialect. And then after that I have gone. They said you come and collect the ration card the next day. So I went back on the next day, only to find that that boy was running and playing. So the family was excited. But this time I had a Nepali New Testament in my hand, and I gave them the New Testament because of the child has became well. This lady said, brother, no sooner you prayed, my child became all right. So they started reading the Bible, and that was my first convert.
So how long it took you to reach that point, like going into the communities and to work?
In the beginnings, I used to, beginning on Sundays, I used to go to boxing fellowship there in Nepali.
Okay.
There I used to attend and all. But then the Lord told me that, I have something different for you. Yeah, it's good to have fellowship with that church and all, but then I have something different. So what happened is that in my room, I began to pray. I began to pray, and I said, Lord, give me one convert, one person. Then I can pray with that person and all. And then the Lord gave me one family first, and then slowly it began. Now we have 14 assemblies in and around Siliguri.
That's good, 14 assembly. That's nice. For the past years, when we look into your life, I'm very much sure that it would have been a roller coaster ride. You would have gone through your high and your low times, but you are going still strong in your life. What is it exactly?
What keeps me going?
Yeah, the motivation to go.
The ministry, the experiences in the ministry will keep you going. See, we could see the hand of the Lord in everything. Mass Gospel chapter 16, the last verse, read that as the apostles went about preaching the gospel, the Lord was with them, and he confirmed the word by accompanying signs. So the Lord has been there. We could really feel the Lord's leading in many things. There was one guy who wanted to finish me off. He wanted to attack me, and he was waiting for me. After coming from the meeting, it will be those days it was a very cold winter, and one guy who was not very happy with me, he wanted to finish me off. And that day, after the meeting, I felt in my heart that I should not take that route. Though that was a shortcut, I have taken a different route, and I came to my home and I was sleeping comfortably. And this fellow, the entire night he waited there. And later he himself told me. So I could see the hand of the Lord in everything. In everything. In the beginning, not many people supported me. So the Lord taught me that is not a wrong thing. That is a good thing, because I have learned to depend upon the Lord for everything. Everything. In the beginning, I didn't have a cycle, but the Lord has given me cycle through a couple. Kerala man married a Nepali woman, and they gave me a cycle. So like that, it is not as many people think that from the West, when money is dumped for missionary work and all. It is not. It is not. and you will learn one thing in the ministry, that you need the Lord even for small things.
Yeah. With the past experience for like 31 years, what is the message that you can hand over to the young generation whom have this confusion in their head, like should they go for a gospel work, or are they the right one to go for the gospel work?
Well, my answer would be that gospel entering into full-time work needs a special call.
Okay.
Just because you see some evangelists are doing very well in the preaching of the gospel or in converting people and all, one should not enter there. You have to make your call very sure, as Peter puts it. And secondly, if the Lord has called you, you don't have to worry. I was very reluctant to enter into the Lord's work, but the Lord has clearly pointed out that I should enter into the Lord's work. And then after served the Lord for 31 years, I have no regrets whatsoever. I praise God because He counted me faithful and put me in His work. And when we went about, the Lord will tell us, from us His promises there. From behind we hear that voice, here is the way, walk on it. And we just follow His advice. And for the young people, if the Lord is leading you to serve the Lord, which is for everyone, and whatever way possible, we must preach the gospel. And I come from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
There, along with the job, I could see many people preaching the gospel effectively, bringing in people and discipling them, and these people in turn go and preach the gospel. So that is a right thing.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry how things are going to be, who will support me, and all those things. Even if we have to starve and we may go without food and all, which usually don't happen, but still, even if it happens, the Lord has a special purpose in it. So we don't have to be scared to enter into the field. And after serving the Lord for 31 years, this is what I can say: the Lord is good. And it's our privilege to carry the gospel to the Indian mob and tell the people that someone has died for you.
Yeah.
And many people, particularly young people, are looking for an answer. And we have that one. Only thing is that we have to present Christ in an acceptable way. Many times we were quick to give the answer before realizing the questions. But we must be patient enough to understand our neighbor and then share the gospel at the right time.
പ്രിയരെ, സമയപരിമിതി മൂലം ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ ഞങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ നിർത്തുവാൻ നിർബന്ധിതരായിരിക്കുകയാണ്. എന്നാൽ പ്രിയദാസൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളുടെ വിശേഷങ്ങൾ അടുത്ത എപ്പിസോഡിൽ ഇതേ സമയത്ത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കാണാവുന്നതാണ്.
ഋതുസ്പർശം ഞാനറിഞ്ഞു. കണ്ടു ഞാനെൻ പ്രിയൻ മുഖം, കേട്ടു ഞാനാ സ്വരം കാതിൽ. പാപിയായിരുന്നെന്നെ പാപാന്ധകാരമാ ചേറ്റിൽ നിന്നുയർത്തി ചേർത്തണച്ചു. പാപിയായിരുന്നെന്നെ പാപാന്ധകാരമാ ചേറ്റിൽ നിന്നുയർത്തി ചേർത്തണച്ചു. ഒരു നാളും ഞാൻ നിന്നെ കൈവിടുകില്ലെന്നോതിയൊരീശനെ ഞാനറിഞ്ഞു. കണ്ടു ഞാനെൻ പ്രിയൻ മുഖം, കേട്ടു ഞാനാ സ്വരം കാതിൽ. ഒരു തിന്നലായി എന്നെ തഴുകിയുണർത്തിയ മൃദുസ്പർശം ഞാനറിഞ്ഞു. കണ്ടു ഞാനെൻ പ്രിയൻ മുഖം, കേട്ടു ഞാനാ സ്വരം കാതിൽ. തകരുന്ന മനസ്സുമായി ഞാനലഞ്ഞിടുകിൻ, രക്ഷകനായി അരികിലുണ്ട്. തകരുന്ന മനസ്സുമായി ഞാനലഞ്ഞിടുകിൽ, രക്ഷകനായി അരികിലുണ്ട്. നുറുങ്ങിയ ഹൃദയത്തിൽ സാന്ത്വനമേകിടാൻ സമീപസ്ഥനായി യഹോവയുണ്ട്. കണ്ടു ഞാനെൻ പ്രിയൻ മുഖം, കേട്ടു ഞാനാ സ്വരം കാതിൽ. ഒരു തിന്നലായി എന്നെ തഴുകിയുണർത്തിയ മൃദുസ്പർശം ഞാനറിഞ്ഞു. കണ്ടു ഞാനെൻ പ്രിയൻ മുഖം, കേട്ടു ഞാനാ സ്വരം കാതിൽ. ഒരു തിന്നലായി എന്നെ തഴുകിയുണർത്തിയ മൃദുസ്പർശം ഞാനറിഞ്ഞു. കണ്ടു ഞാനെൻ പ്രിയൻ മുഖം, കേട്ടു ഞാനാ സ്വരം കാതിൽ.
ഈ എപ്പിസോഡ് ഇവിടെ പൂർണ്ണമാകുന്നു. നിങ്ങളുടെ വിലയേറിയ നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങളും അഭിപ്രായങ്ങളും ഞങ്ങളുടെ മൊബൈൽ നമ്പറിലോ ഞങ്ങളുടെ വിലാസത്തിലോ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഇമെയിൽ ഐഡിയിലോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയിക്കാവുന്നതാണ്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ വിലാസം ദി ട്രൂത്ത്, PO ബോക്സ് 20513, കിങ്ഡം ഓഫ് ബഹ്റിൻ. അടുത്ത എപ്പിസോഡിൽ കാണുന്നതുവരെ നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.